welcome back to Contemporary Black Voices, where we're talking about what Black parents can do to protect their children. And this is an emotional discussion, but it needs to occur. So, who wants to continue?
Me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I think that this is, first of all, a situation where I want to go back to what we talked about at the beginning, I think, or maybe at the end of the first segment. And you said, what can we do?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like these parents put their child in a school, and it was a predominantly white school, which means that either they were in a predominantly white neighborhood, or they were trying to do something to make sure that they were in a better school district. Mm-hmm. And for it to come out, they were not in a better school district. They were they put their daughter into a work situation. What can we do? That question is, next week we're going to have one of the people from the Nation of Islam. And the one thing that they do with their kids that I think that we need to be looking at is we need to be saying to them, or all of us need to look at having a place where we can take our children that is a safe place. We can no longer look at what the administration is that's coming in. We can't look at expecting the current school systems and what the governments in all of the states are doing to our kids, the laws that they're stripping us down from. We have got to take charge. And when I talk about, or you ask, what can we do? Until we begin to school our own children, I don't think that there's anything that we're going to do. And this thing is going to happen over and over again until we decide to take charge of our own lives. I'm through.
My part of that is, no, I mean, you have to get involved. You have to get involved in your kids' education. Because we all have responsibilities. We all have bills. We all have stuff we got to do. But your primary responsibility as a parent is the safety of your kids. And making sure, whether it's a white school or mixed school, whatever kind of school, you have to make sure that the environment is safe. You have to set boundaries with the administration, let them know that you're not playing, that you're gonna be there. You know what I mean? You have to open those kind of channels of communication and let them know what kind of parents you are. Mm-hmm. And then they know what kind of parents they can play with. But you have to do that. I was one of the volunteer. I was there at my kids' school often, early and often. You know what I mean? And making sure that the halls were safe. Making sure that, the other kids knew me, the other dads knew me, the administrators, the teachers, everybody knew me. When there was a meeting, we were there, whether it was with the PTA or the coaches or whoever else. You have to be involved.
Let me ask a question of you.
Hold on, let me finish this thought, though. You have to be involved. That's number one. I mean, but number two is you have to take responsibility for your kids' education. Your kids' education is not done in school. When your kids get home, you continue that education. One, you make sure they do their homework. Two, you make sure you're checking their grades. Three, you're making sure you're emailing and communicating with those teachers. But the other thing is, man, you have to take the responsibility to educate your own kids. If you can afford to go on a Carnival cruise, you can afford to go and visit a Civil War battlefield. You can afford to take them to go, and matter of fact, it's cheaper. Go see the Lincoln Memorial. Go see the Liberty Bell and the Franklin Museum in New York. You know what I'm saying? Take your kids right to Houston and let them see NASA. You know what I'm saying? So you have to educate your kids. You know what I mean? It can't just be Carnival cruises in the summertime. You know what I mean? You have to take the education of your kids upon yourself. So go ahead, Chris.
Thank you. Did it make a difference when you were in the school, in the hallways? Mm-hmm. My thought is because the teachers knew you, mm-hmm. the students knew you, mm-hmm. and that lessened any damage that might happen on any of your kids because mm-hmm. you were right there on top of the situation.
It did, because the little kids, they come up to me and hug me. You know what I mean? All little kids, and I'm talking, well, I was in Northside School District in the Stone Oak area, and so these are not little black kids that run up to me hugging me. You know what I mean? And then my kids play football with their kids, you know what I mean? So they knew me from football. They knew me as a coach, you know what I mean? So they come up to me and hug me as either as a coach or just from seeing me in schools, you know what I mean, in the school. So it was, and whenever there was a parent day, I'm there. You know what I mean? So you have to be involved in your kids' education because your kids are your primary responsibility.
Let me also ask, there are some jobs where they don't want you to leave work to be able to be involved in your kids' education.
That's when you have a network. He may call me, Doc, got a situation. Are you able to go? And I can say, I can go. So you have to create this network. You have to create
I
a
like
network.
that.
Also, if there are Black teachers on the campus, and I'm talking to the Black teachers now, our babies get attacked on how they wear their natural hair. Tell that child, I love your hair. I love your hair. I love your hair. You look so pretty with your hair like that. Because there's going to have to be some counter moves that we're going to have to do until if things change, and this is going to be a little rough ride, 4 years coming up. I never thought that I would say this, but I'm going to say this. I am a proponent of getting our babies out of these schools, homeschooling them, put them into a homeschool network, or put them into a Black school.
Amen.
I never thought I would say this, but based on what I'm seeing, and based on even my own personal experience, my son was quote unquote in special ed. Now, after I cracked the code, he was taken out of special ed. See, there's a lot of things that parents don't know that they can do. So my son figured out that the special ed kids' assignments was reduced. So he started pretending that he couldn't do it. But after I figured out what was going on, I left my school, went to his school, had a meeting, and said, take him out. Well, but he might take him out. I said, if you have to flunk him, but take him out. So you have to let them know you know what you know. But Black parents, if you can't get to the school, have a system in place where you have people who can walk those halls, have lunch with your kids. That's another thing. Go have lunch with your kids if you can even do it. But have somebody have lunch with the kids so you can get a sound check as to how the day is going. If the bullies are watching, then you look at the bullies like this. You can probably do this, something like this. But give them that look. We have got to get into those schools more often. And again, I never thought that I would ever say it, but if I ever have a grandchild, I already told my son, bring him over to grandma's house, and we're going to homeschool. And then I may put that child into an all-Black school as well.
Yeah, I mean, it is, or even, like I said, we need to find or build that kind of community. Online, an online school, we educate our own kids online, getting some of our best teachers to get online and provide those lessons and to, educate our kids, just a virtual school for Black kids, you know what I mean? So we definitely need solutions. We live in it's 21st century, so the technology is available. You know what I mean, for us to get this done.
Black churches, if you have the capacity, please start a school on this campus.
As we wrap this up, I would say that I kind of like your idea of online school, but online school has to be a higher level than some of the kids going to an actual edifice or a building to be able to go to school. Because some of these kids, you can't trust them, okay? If they at home by themselves, you're at work, mom's at work, nobody's at home, and you want them to be online, they ain't gonna be online.
Oh no, they gotta cut their cameras off.
This is where the Black churches can come together to be kind of like the hub for the online central school, for example. Let those kids go to the Black church and just have somebody there making sure that our babies are doing what they're supposed to do. There's a lot of ways to get to Walmart, but we just going to have to take time out to figure out how to do it.
We did it during COVID. We proved that online education, it can be done. We did it during COVID. You know what I mean?
As we close, for the next year, Why don't we bring at least one show a month? We're going to bring 3 ministers on, and we're going to ask them to be able to have a school, okay? Ask them to pull their resources together. Look, if they can have multiple locations
Right.
for worship and all this kind
I
of
thought you were gonna say bring one educator on.
no, because we need the money, and they've got the access of having the money. And if they can go out and start a new church, then they can start a school. And I'm asking the 3 of them will they come together? We only want to get maybe 3 to come together to start it, and then maybe some of the others will start as well. But when you ask about what we can do, I'm just offering a suggestion.
Right. No,
I'll
I
turn it back
understand.
over to you, Doc.
Good deal.
Well, this was a topic dear to my heart. You know, it hit home. Again, this is Kalia Turner, a beautiful child. This is what, you know, one picture showed you how she was, and now we're seeing how she is right now. Get involved, and as we say in contemporary Black voices, we're telling our stories our way.